I don't usually tell this story because, well, I don't think anyone would believe me. But if you're really asking for something that'll send chills down your body, I guess this is as good as it gets. It happened a few years ago, late one night. I was with a couple of friends and we'd been hanging out, just having a good time. After they left, I was feeling pretty good, so I decided to take a walk by myself. It was one of those nights where everything's quiet, the type, the air feels still, and you're the only person outside, like the world is sleeping but you're wide awake. Anyway, I walked down the street and for some reason I had this tune stuck in my head. You ever get that? It's like it just loops around and you can't stop thinking about it. So, I started whistling. I'm not the best whistler, but it was something to do, I guess. Just a simple tune. I don't even remember where I first heard it. So I'm walking down this long, quiet street, and I'm whistling away, when, out of nowhere, I hear someone whistle back. I froze. At first I thought it was just an echo. You know how sound can bounce off buildings or trees or something, right? But this was different. The whistle wasn't exactly the same as mine. It was like someone else was whistling, a little off tune, almost like they were messing with me. I looked around trying to figure out where it came from, but there was no one there. The street was empty. It wasn't a crowded place to begin with, and at that hour everyone was probably at home, so I just shrugged it off. I figured maybe I was hearing things, or maybe it was just some weird coincidence. I kept walking though, and yeah, I whistled again. I don't know why I did it. Maybe it was just me being dumb. Maybe I was just trying to see if I'd hear it again, or if it was just my imagination. And sure enough, I did. This time, though, the whistle came from behind me. I turned around real quick, but again there was no one. Just me and the streetlights and the quiet night. It wasn't like a creepy place or anything, just your regular neighborhood street. I remember thinking, this is getting weird, but I still wasn't freaked out, not yet. I kept walking, maybe a little faster this time, and I told myself, all right, no more whistling, just get home. So I'm almost halfway down the block when I hear it again, but this time it's closer, like really close. It wasn't behind me anymore. It was right next to me. I stopped dead in my tracks. My heart was pounding. You know that feeling when something isn't right? When everything's just a little off, but you can't put your finger on why? Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I didn't even want to look to my side, but I couldn't help it. Slowly I turned my head and there was no one there, but somehow I knew, deep down I just knew that someone or something was there. I could feel it. My skin was crawling like the air around me had turned heavy, thick, like I was being watched. I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I whistled again, just a short, quick one, and immediately the whistle came back. But this time, it wasn't just a sound. I could feel a cold breath hit the back of my neck like someone was standing right behind me. I swear I could almost feel their presence, like whoever or whatever it was leaning in close. I didn't look back. I couldn't. Every hair on my body was standing up, and all I could think was, I need to get out of here. I took a step forward, trying to act normal, like nothing weird was happening. But inside, I was freaking out. My legs felt heavy, like I was wading through water. The street that had seemed so normal a few minutes ago now felt like it was stretching on forever, like I'd never get to the end of it. But I kept walking, trying not to run, trying not to show that I was scared. Because for some reason I felt like if I let whatever it was know that I was scared, things would get a lot worse. You ever have that feeling? Like something's messing with you, and as long as you keep it cool, you'll be fine? Yeah, that's how I felt. I didn't want to give it power or whatever. But the thing was, every few steps, I kept hearing that whistle. Sometimes it was right behind me. Sometimes it sounded like it was off in the distance. But no matter what, it was always there. And every time I heard it, I felt that cold chill creep up my body. I wasn't far from my house now, just a few more blocks. I kept telling myself, just get home, man, just get home. I was practically speed walking at this point, my heart pounding in my chest. And then, just as I was about to cross the street to my house, the whistle came again, but this time it was louder, almost angry. Like whoever was doing it wasn't just messing with me anymore. They were mad. I don't know what came over me, but I yelled back for it to stop. It wasn't like I was trying to be brave or anything. It was more like instinct, like I couldn't help it. The moment the words left my lips, I regretted it, because as soon as I did, the whistling stopped. Completely. No sound, no nothing. Just dead silence. I stood there staring at the ground, too scared to move. And then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw something shift in the shadows. I don't know how to explain it, but it wasn't like a person or an animal. It was more like a shadow itself had come to life, just barely visible in the streetlight. It was tall, way too tall to be human, and it was just standing there, not moving, watching me. I couldn't make out any details, just this dark shape. And even though I couldn't see its face, I knew it was looking right at me. My heart was pounding. I could feel it in my throat, pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. But somehow, I managed to move. I took one step backward, then another, and before I knew it, I was running. Full on sprinting down the street toward my house. I didn't care anymore if it knew I was scared. I just needed to get inside. I didn't stop running until I was at my front door. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely get the key in the lock, but I finally managed to open the door. I slammed it shut behind me and locked it, every lock, even the chain, like that would somehow keep whatever it was out. I stood there in my hallway, breathing hard, trying to calm down. I told myself it was just my imagination. There was no one out there, no ghost or shadow or anything like that. I was probably just tired or something. But then, right when I was about to convince myself everything was fine, I heard it. That whistle. It was faint, almost like it was far away, but I heard it. Right outside my house. I couldn't move, I just stood there, frozen, listening to it. And then, the scariest thing happened. The whistle. It started getting closer, like it was moving toward my door. I backed away, my heart pounding in my ears. I wanted to run, but I didn't know where to go. The whistling was louder now, right outside, like it was just on the other side of the door. I held my breath, waiting, listening. And then, the handle of my front door started to turn. I don't know how long I stood there, staring at the door, waiting for it to open. But it never did. After what felt like forever, the sound stopped. The handle stopped moving and the whistle faded away, like whoever or whatever it was had given up and walked off. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat in my living room, lights on, waiting for the sun to come up. I kept thinking about what had happened, trying to make sense of it. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get rid of the feeling that something was still out there, just looking at me. Since that night, I haven't whistled again. Not during the day, not at night, not ever. Because every time I even think about it, I can still hear that whistle, faint and far off, like it's waiting for me to answer back. And I'll be damned if I ever do. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed these stories. If you did, check out more of my videos on the screens above or visit my channel for even more. Don't forget to subscribe for future updates. Stay safe and take care.